Hi, Eric Linask here. We are in Las Vegas, Nevada, ITEXPO, and I'm talking with Stephen DeCorn. Stephen is with Vertical Communications. Stephen, thanks for joining me. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
So, over the past year plus, mobility, BYOD, very significant trends in business communications. It's something that not only businesses, but their communications providers have really had to not only deal with, but seriously accommodate as the mobile workforces continue to expand and their requirements continue to build. What has Vertical done, and how does your platform help address BYOD and mobility in the workforce?
Well, we specifically focused our Wave platform on a mobility premise. So we have one license. So when a user, when we install the system and we give a user license, that goes across the board. They get their desktop, they get their desk phone, and they also get the mobile app. So we actually provide mobility to an entire workforce in an industry versus just whoever needs it or wants it. From a mobile perspective, we are phone agnostic, really. I don't even have a desk phone in my office. I specifically just focus all of my calls specifically through my mobile device.
Do you see that as a trend, or maybe more generally, how has mobility, that certainly has changed your perspective on communications, how has it changed, generally speaking,
Well, I think it's going in that direction most definitely. I mean, think about the under 30 crowd that in a few years are going to be making all of the buying decisions. They're all about portable devices and what can be where. So as we grow and as we change into that evolution of that generation, everything's going to be mobile.
Talk to me about the deal with Fulton Communications.
So Fulton Communications and Vertical merged about 2 months ago. They were one of the largest dealers in the country from a channel perspective. Vertical's actually #1 dealer for the last 2 years. So 19 markets specifically. We really wanted to go into the direct world as a company. So it was really just kind of a perfect fit for us. They were our #1 reseller. That's really what we wanted to do. We put both companies on the table to merge it together and create a direct sales force within those markets.
Why did you want to expand your direct sales force?
So we have always focused on retail on the direct side. So we have a small team that specifically sells into the retail world. And we found that in that world, when we were doing it direct, we were a lot more successful. We wanted to be in control of our destiny, so to speak. We also didn't have a lot of overlap with dealers and the Fulton markets, so that was a really nice fit for us because we wouldn't have a lot of channel conflict in those specific 19 markets.
So that starts to address my next question. Is there any impact on your reseller network, and is there actually a benefit from you increasing your direct sales force?
I think there's actually a benefit. There's actually not a lot of overlap. And we said this when we made the announcement to the channel. If you see Fulton in your market, you probably still will. But if you don't see them in your market, you probably are not going to. And that really put it into perspective for a lot of our resellers because most of them did not see them in their environments. So it created an environment where they have another world to go to for help. If they needed something, for example, if they were doing an install in a multi-city location that they didn't have anybody in, they can go to the Fulton organization, soon to be the Vertical organization, and specifically, get an install done or get support within that city, and vice versa on the Fulton side. So if we have an environment where we're doing an install in a city where we have a channel partner, they will specifically go in and the channel partner will install it.
Talk to me about your strategy on the small business side. You've got the Wave product on one side. You've also got the Summit product for the small business.
So Wave focuses on 50 to 500. That's our sweet spot specifically for Wave. So we really needed to address the under 50 market, and we just recently released the Vertical Summit, which is a platform that provides full UC capability to the under 50 market. So it has mobility, it has instant messaging, it has everything that you would see in an SMB or enterprise play for the under 50 market.
Would you consider it just a scaled down Wave, or is there something more to it?
It's just another version.
Okay.
From a price point perspective, it's a great price point.
Mm-hmm.
It is, It's something that if you have 10 users, which we've installed,
Sure.
it's a great price point for them. And it brings mobility, particularly into play, into that environment that before you really couldn't see. And on the Wave side, if you were putting a Wave in a 5 to 10 user environment, it's not the best fit because that's not the sweet spot.
Lot of conversation also around integrating communications platforms with CRM systems or other enterprise software solutions. You have thoughts on that? Does Vertical have a strategy in that regard?
So we are in beta right now on a product called CRM Link, which is specifically a cloud-based software that will integrate into Wave with Salesforce, NetSuite, Microsoft Dynamics, that will specifically take everything that happens within the environment and dumps it into the records. It's something that we have needed within our marketplace, within the SMB world, so that it's just simple and easy to be able to document. It's all about the data. People want to be able to keep their data and know what the data can tell them to be able to make that next sale. And CRM Link does that does that for them.
With that, does it matter what kind of implementation the customer has, whether it's an on-premises or a hosted implementation of the CRM?
Well, it specifically is for, it specifically ties into the Wave platform, which is a premise-based platform.
Excellent. Well, Stephen, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a
Great.
pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.